Hello, everybody. Welcome to the team show here on the Blue Broad YouTube channel. It's Wednesday, the 9th of July, 2025. We are here 24 hours, a little over 24 hours before the Blues play the Lions at Marvel Stadium tomorrow night. I think it's the first time we're playing the Lions at Marvel since, it's not that far away, 2023, early in the season. Got touched up that night as well. Surprise, surprise. Good to have you all here. We're proudly brought to you by Mr. Cabinets, proud sponsor of the team show, second year running with Mr. Cabinets. If any of you out there have any renovation plans for your kitchens, anything like that, get in touch with Derek from Mr. Cabinets, and we will go from there. Wow. What a week. I came back to life, I think, Monday night, I had like a big sleep. I think my nervous system just needed a reset. Tuesday felt a little bit more fresh. But this morning woke up and at 'em, ready to go again. That's what life's all about, huh? You just got to keep pushing. We are in the middle of the shitstorm, and the shitstorm seems to get worse and worse. We're going to go through Vossi's presser. Obviously, there's news around Vossi as well, which we'll touch on. There's re-signings that we can touch on. There's all sorts of things. My mic is cooked. My sound is no good. Hang on a minute. I know what's happened. You should have told me earlier. Damn it. Hang on. I know what's happened. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm plugged in to the wrong port. I don't know if this is going to reset while I'm here. Let's check. Does that work? Does that sound any better? Sounds good on your end, Riser? I'll get through to everyone here. Is that better? I think that's better. Much better. Yeah, wrong port. Great start. The show goes on. All right. Yeah, we're going to go through Vossi's presser. We're going to go through re-signings. We're going to go through some of the teams as they come out. We've got selection news. We've got news that Blake Acres has been dropped or won't play. And you know what? There will be a surprise giveaway. I've got a random item that I'm going to pick from all the items that I'm looking at right now. And I'm going to spin on that thing. And I'm going to give something away to a member. So if you are not a member and you want to be a member, link is pinned to the live chat. Otherwise, I'll be giving something away. All right. Who's here? Kate, I think I saw you early. 64 minutes early. Good to have you here. Nothing else to do. Slobbo, missed you, mate. Good to have you here, mate. You think that the Blues are spanking the Brizzy Bears? I don't know, man. I don't know. Speaking of the Bears, is there anyone here who is affiliated with the Thomastown Bears? Because this Saturday is our 10-year reunion from the 2015 Premiership, which I'm actually really excited about. So we are also the Bears. Christina Bombonati, you are early. Fermi, Logan, hello, Julie. Logan, you went back and watched the season compilations of 2020 and 2021. Gee, this club hasn't changed at all. Oh, we could watch one of them on this show tonight if you're interested, although that could depress us. But I think 2021 might be really interesting to watch. Yeah, maybe we can do that. What up, Hunter? Luca, Christine, Dioni's here. B, you are here. Faz, you want rock bottom? Forget losses. Forget performance, coaching selections. What happened to Voss is rock bottom. Never been so embarrassed. Yeah, it's rough, mate. It's just it doesn't stop. I've got some thoughts on it. We'll touch on it in a minute. I want to watch his presser. I've only seen the clip. I haven't seen the full thing, but I do want to get in there and watch the full context. But yeah, it's not great. Dione, you've never seen a week like this. Same. Never seen anything like this before. Troy. Hey, mate. Chichio. Thank you, mate. Love you being here. Matt. Laurie. Quentin. Sound was good for you. No. I hadn't plugged in this to the right port. Slobo was on the money. It's all good. Andy, hello, mate. Cheers, Slobo. I'm going to invite some of you all to join me shortly as well. I think we'll start with the presser, knock it off, and then we'll get some people in. What up, Chris? Good to see you, mate. John, unfortunately, we're all bracing ourselves for another thrashing tomorrow night. Please, footy gods, give us a miracle. Yeah, well, we know Acres won't play. So is it just going to be baby blues? Is it just going to be a baby blue team out there? Hello, Wogma Matula. Good to see you. Has it been confirmed that Acres won't play? Is that just Mel? So it's been, as in, the club have not confirmed it, but I believe it was Mitch Cleary that tweeted it, posted it, that Blake Acres won't play. So, yeah. You'd like to think that if it was... Well, they did put a clip out earlier in the week of Lucas Camporelli and his running pattern. So maybe it'll just be Acres for Lucas or Binzi gets a chance. But we're going to find out in about an hour from now. Andrew, hello, mate. Snapple Alloy 39. Yeah, I think one of them will be playing as well. I'm with you. What up, Yaz? G'day, Wayne. Hello, mate. Bridget, Matula. Surely not. Matula, don't get sucked in to fake Twitter posts. Don't get sucked in. Don't get sucked into them. They're creating them so we can get sucked in. Just like that footage at 3/4 time of Charlie high-fiving Darcy Moore, even though that footage was from before the game. It's all a ploy. The media are doing their very best to spark outrage. We're already outraged as it is. Don't get sucked in. Gorkhan, hello, mate. Just finished watching the highlights from the 23 elimination final and semi-finals. Take me back. Yeah. I mean, we did appreciate the moment for what it was. I don't know if many of us thought that would be it for a long period of time. Seems that way. Forza, Carlton, you're a bit pissed at Acres being dropped. I mean, what good do I know? Yeah, well, it's sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's only when you drop a player you realize what you're missing. So that might be that. But Acres has struggled all year. His body's been... I mean, he had back surgery at the start of the year. I don't know if that's just going to be the story of his year this year. He hasn't really gotten going much at all. Dinky Rose, hello, mate. Dylan, you want to see the kids tonight? Yeah, we'll see. We don't know if it was a Carlton supporter. Yeah. Hello, Justin. You met me one day in an Armadale supermarket. Your youngest daughter thought I was famous. I ain't famous. We're all just little specks on this rock floating in the middle of absolutely nothing. Wayne, what happened? So what happened was somebody sent a vile text to the antisocial hotline at the MCG on Friday night with words to the effect of a brutal ending to Michael Voss's life. Something like that. Don't know the exact particulars of what was said and who said it. I mean, they'd be able to find the person who texted. So that's what's happened. How's the fuckwit reporter throwing a pot shot at the support dog? Time and place. Okay, we're going to get there. One of his best presses. All right. Jack, you love footy abroad. Waiting for the day you bite back at Jake for his constant Carlton slander, especially when he supports a rabble as well. You know, in life, at the end of the day, you just let things unfold. You just let things unfold the way that they're going to unfold. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to get into a back and forth with Jake. Let him have his moment. We'll have our moment. We had our moment, actually. Do you remember? So Jake had his moment before we played the Swans elimination final. Do you remember him and Marshy? They had their moment, 15 seconds of fame on, I think it was Sunrise, potentially, or the morning show on Channel 9. Shake down the saliva from the sky, and then we go out that night and we beat the Swans. And you know, you just kind of let things play out. You know, you just let things play out. I did not watch State of Origin game 3. I will be maybe tuning in tonight, but I haven't watched much of it. Tatum's tantrum. You know what I love about you, mate? Every week, I read your comments every week. You talk about how you just accept it where we are. It's not like you've known it, you've accepted it, you've checked out, you don't go to games, but you're always here. So I love that. Grant, no news on any debut of Ben Campo. Not sure. Not sure. I don't know if it's going to be a mistake going to the game tomorrow. You know, we'll go. I'm going. You know, there's some kids that are playing tomorrow that, you know, they're not a part of the problem. It is what it is. Cheeky from the media, that one got me sucked in. Yeah, hey, you know, it's going to get worse and worse, especially with AI. All these sorts of things that are going to happen now. So you just got to be really careful. That 3/4 time footage is so cheeky from, I think it was Channel 7 or Fox Footy, whatever. It's so cheeky to put pre-game footage at 3/4 time to make it look like Charlie's high-fiving Darcy Moore before the 4th quarter starts. Like, so cheeky. Anyway, Jackson, purely hypothetical, but if we play a bunch of youngsters and by some miracle get the W, do we play that squad for the rest of the season? I think we might be doing that anyway. Yeah. Imagine texting antisocial stuff to the antisocial report line. Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Jonathan. Tedelato, the death threats are never it. Hope Voss is okay for what it's worth. Yeah. Not ideal. Chris, don't worry about Jake. He still has to support the Saints. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Pommy has a watch along for State of Origin on tonight. Yes, he does. I think he broke record numbers for game 2. I think he had a lot of internationals tuning in, which is unreal. Pommy's about to become the sport guy in Australia. Just go to the game and support them. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'm already looking at whatever. It's honestly about next year again. Like, it sucks. It's, you know, just not gonna yell and scream about it. I've already. I think we've all said it. What needs to be said this year. It's done. It's all about next year now. Playing some of the people that are going to be there next year and maybe trying some things. I had this really good chat with Ari, actually. We pre-recorded the Biased Footy Show, which will be showing tonight at 8 p.m. We actually had a conversation about this. I might bring this up with you guys later in the show. What up, only Carlton? What's the vibes like? Well, you know what it is? It's team show, which is usually a day before, 2 days before a game day, and we start. It's not even about finding hope to win the game. It's just about resetting our damage and just bracing for whatever's coming again, I reckon. Yeah. Yeah. Miko, every week you say you're not watching, next week, but then a few days pass and you get back into it. Yeah, that's it, mate. That's the way it is. Yeah. Miss me, Predator. You knew we were done after round 1, but you haven't been angry this year. Just need a few small tweaks. Better people around Voss and recruit some speed. We'll be fine. John, you're not supporting a club that's lost the plot. Woke. Enough. Okay. Fair enough. You know what, John? Love you anyway, mate. It's all good. All right. Let's watch the presser. I haven't seen it yet. 16 minutes. This is the longest presser of the year. All right. Let's do it. I think I might take breaks with this. 16 minutes. What the hell? Oh boy. Oh, just look at the look. I haven't even heard a word. Look at this man's eyes, man. Look at what this club's done to him. I want to get a photo up. Can someone find a photo of Vossi when? No, I'm going to find it when he first signed. While this is playing. Wow, they've done it to another coach.
For those that are interested, I got a dog for my birthday. Yeah, border collie. So, no, I can't disclose. It's confidential, but no.
What?
She's been a good addition to the family, so all good.
When was your birthday?
Oh God, I can't even. 50th birthday, so hasn't time gone fast? So quite incredible. But yeah, over the weekend, so spent some time with some family and friends, and it was a good weekend.
Bit of a support animal after some threats that were made against you.
Geez, you jumped into that quick.
Did she just ask what I think she asked?
Hasn't time gone fast? So quite incredible. But yeah, over the weekend, so spent some time with some family and friends, and it was a good weekend.
Bit of a support animal after some threats that were made against you.
Bit of a support animal. Who the fuck? Who is that? Who is that? Bit of a support animal for some threats. Wait, who is that? I want to know who that is.
So hasn't time gone fast? So quite incredible. But yeah, over the weekend, so spent some time with some family and friends, and it was a good weekend.
Bit of a support animal after some threats that were made against you.
Geez,
Who the fuck is that?
you jumped into that quick. Wow. Even I can't jump that. Mate, that association. Let's just leave it. It was great to see them. So I haven't seen them for quite a while. So it was nice to be able to have them, be able to celebrate a couple of things. So no, it was good. It's a good weekend.
All right. So Michael, how concerned are you about the threat, and how does it affect you and your family?
Yeah, I think look. I won't. You sort of go a little bit in reflection mode through these weeks. I sort of remember as a 4-year-old following my dad around and sort of spending time in the sheds, and he's sort of captain coach of everything, and sort of remember those moments really fondly. And I always felt like it's sort of like football was just made you feel like you belong, and that's what football clubs are all about. You sort of have a sense of belonging. It's about families, it's about communities, it's about bringing people together. And also remember, as a 12-year-old at Morningside Football Club and having a sort of brand new footy, like I said, my football was just, it was scuffed, and I was sort of bouncing on the road and scratches. And I remember a captain of the Morningside Football Club, Daryl Burke, gave me a brand new Sharon. It was like the best gift I ever got. It was my first brand new Sharon. So I just used to smell it and, always have it in my hands. And, it sort of really inspired me to be, ultimately follow my dreams. And that was sort of really impactful on me. And then I've also seen, the dark side of football as well. So where we blame, we become victims, and it's sort of this environment where it's quite toxic, and we think by showing passion is about anger, and it's not about that at all. So it's so when you sort of see both, it's what you choose, for me. And so when I turn up for football, and I turn up, on the weekend, I look at that 4-year-old and think about what families are, and about communities, and how we bring people together, and what we want our environment to be. And that's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about bringing people together. And so that is extremely important to me. And it's also about the 12-year-old who you want to inspire that next generation. So when I look across the fence, I see the 12-year-olds and I see the 14-year-olds have aspirations to be able to do this. And so the inspiration for me is about inspiring the next generation and leaving a lasting impact on what that looks like. So when you turn up on the weekend and I do what I do that for Carlton. I do that for the next kid that's going to be playing in the Carlton Football Club jumper. I do it so our football club can be, have this sustained success that we're all craving for. But there's a way we need to behave. and there's a way that we need to go about it. And when things are tough, you got to show that support the right way, not the wrong way. Now, if that's a measure for some people on what it should look like, then I'm sorry, you don't belong here. And we'll move on, and we'll make sure that we continue to bring a supporter base that will support in the good times, and it will support in the bad. And we'll continue to support our people to be able to do that. So for me, the conversation doesn't need to be anything other than that. And it won't be for the next 6-7 weeks as well. So I get asked about different things, about pressure of the game and my job and, what the future looks like. Well, ultimately, I only need to look across the fence to find out what inspires me every single day. And we want to be the best version of ourselves, and that's how we're going to do it. So that's what we're going to focus on.
And when you heard what was written or said, how did it affect you? And did it dishearten you at all?
No, I was dismissive at first. But, there's a flow-on effect. The first thing you always think about is the person beside you or the family member or the team. Because as a result of what I do, you appreciate there's an element of scrutiny that comes with that. But then there's a part that's completely unacceptable. And I think we can all sort of agree that part is unacceptable. And we don't tolerate that as an industry. And so we leave that with the AFL integrity at the moment. And I expect a pretty forthright response. But this is the current nature that we need to consider within the AFL environment. And we all have responsibilities. I have responsibility. You guys have responsibilities here about what you write and the opinions you'll be able to create. And you've got to understand that the ripple effect goes beyond just what your opinion is.
So it
reaches deeper.
Do you think that this is having the coverage of the situation is having an impact on how people view the club and yourself?
I haven't thought about it in that context, to be honest with you, because the part that I'm more interested in is the team performance, and that's all it's ever been about. So how we do that as a football club, how you unite behind that is of more interest to me. And there is a way forward on this. How we do this is critically important, not just what we ultimately end up achieving. So what are we going to find here? And that's what I'm important about. And I've got a playing group over there that's got a game to play tomorrow night. And so for me, that's where my main interest lies. And what I do then is that we obviously have processes in place to be able to back in what needs to happen next there. So let that happen. And I get on with what I need to be able to control.
This might be a weird question, but are you okay?
What a brilliant question. Jeez.
I guess the last week just forced you to reflect a little bit on that. But I think where the confidence comes from for me is that I think we've got an amazing group of people, amazing group of players. We're facing quite a small, challenging period of time. There's opportunities within that, and it's hard to not really go past that and then sort of work out how do I show up today and what's the best version they get of me, and I'm in control of that. So no one gets to determine that, not an opinion, not a like button. I get to be able to look after what I get to control and how I want to be and the attitude I want to bring towards it. And never been more forthright and more confident about our direction and what we need to be able to do. But also over in this building is an amazing group of people that are working extremely hard. There's a great team over there that have poured their energies in trying to get the best out of themselves. And not, some of it hasn't quite worked over the last couple of weeks, but there's a reset tomorrow, and that's what we'll do against Brisbane, against the best team in the competition.
Are you scared? Are you scared for yourself and your family?
For me, it's about tomorrow now. It really
it's like we've addressed it. Let's move on.
is. So that's not to be dismissive of that question. I appreciate
Nah, fuck it. Be dismissive of that question. It's done now. Tell him to fuck off.
that you probably got to ask it, but I just sort of think that now it's, most of the stuff is about what happened 5 days ago, 6 days ago. And, as you can imagine, 5-6 days ago, you deal with that and then you move on. And I'm more interested in tomorrow. If you have questions about tomorrow, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah. But
So that I appreciate that after 4 or 5 questions, it's probably enough. Like, so let's sort of focus here on now what happens on the grass. That's what I'm really sort of more concerned about 24 hours out. So it will get dealt with. We'll have those conversations that we need to behind the scenes. The support's been incredible. So we just move on to what happens on the grass now. So, and I know you'll respect my position on that, and you won't go one more, right? So you've got your answers. So let's move on.
Then I want to talk about the effort. How do you look at effort?
Yeah, well, it's been a pretty clear picture for us because the competitive nature and the way we've played has kept us in games, and we've probably spoken a lot about probably why we haven't been able to finish those games off. But the collective effort is just diminished somewhat. And when we describe effort, what is that? The work rate can be there, but are you working together and are you working on the right things? And we just haven't been able to get enough consistency around the ball and the intensity around the ball, and it's put enormous amount of pressure on us for be able to execute. So it's not like it's sort of they don't have a clear picture on, or we don't have a clear picture on what it needs to be able to look like for us. But we also know that when you're playing against quality opposition like what we are, you're talking about the current premiers, and they're a very good football side. So they've got a lot of their phases that they do very, very well. So that'll put tension on all of it. But the first thing we need to be able to make sure that we do is start well against a very good opposition.
Charlie Curnow's talked a bit throughout the week about that maybe potentially being a bit too self.
I'm just going to pause here for a second. The questions that are being asked are very clearly heard today, or is that just me?
Focused as opposed to team focused when it comes to forward 50 and how he goes about it. Do you think there's anything he needs to work on, and how have you assessed his form line in recent weeks?
I think collectively we need to shift. Like it's, there's individual where we'll be looking for margins. And, also they're all very talented individuals that have got their own strengths and what they bring to the table. So we'll be continually asking for that. But also the way we need to be able to get after this is doing it together. It's not going to be about feeling like, one particular moment is going to help. So, I've sort of really liked what Charlie's been able to do over the last couple of weeks. He hasn't hit the scoreboard. I mean, he's hitting the scoreboard. But he probably hasn't had as big an impact. He's competing pretty hard. So, I feel like he's stacked together a couple of good weeks, and obviously, hopefully, he can build on that. I mean, we'd like to give it a little bit more better looks when we're going forward. Hasn't been a problem for us. It has been the last couple of weeks. So, we obviously need to address that.
Nick Newman re-signing. How did the club arrive at that decision at this point of the year, considering he hasn't played, his age, and all of that?
Quality human being. Back in the body of work that he's had. We had to make a really important decision this week whether we continue for his return or we obviously park it for another time. So, for him to be able to get the extra year without playing probably speaks volumes about the impact he has behind the four walls. And that's not even discounting just the impact he has on the ground. So he's a genuine leader for us. He's created great stability. He's created great sounding board for a lot of players. And I know if you asked a lot of players about him, they'd say just what sort of teammate he's been for them over the last period of time. So been a very important person.
So we saw you pull Cripper, Weeders and Curnow aside during the game against Collingwood. How much is it on the leaders to help out on field when things are tough?
It's always first and foremost about the leaders. It always is. And that's what we always want to continue to model is how we live, what we value. And but it's not just that, it's also how we actually get the best out of people to be able to do the same thing. So, and then that's the conversations we have on a almost daily basis as a leadership group. I sit firmly well and truly within that. So the conversation will remain that way. And between us, obviously the follow-up conversations happen and we get to reset ourselves and probably display some of those things that we need to continue to value tomorrow against Brisbane.
Play a really contested style of footy under your coaching. The players, physically or mentally kind of worn out in a sense?
No, every single week, every team plays a contested style. Without it, I mean, without it, you can't get your style together. There's got to be a minimum expectation. Every team would be talking about what they want. There's some added things we need to be able to make sure we're getting better to complement what that looks like. But no, you won't have me walk into a team meeting and say, don't win contested ball.
No, I realise that, but
It's an important phase of the game, and it's a starting point to be able to bring the effort that's required. And when we've had an impact in quarters, you could make an argument to say that it hasn't been at the required level. So we'll continue to reinforce that, continue to build that. And in the background, there's obviously some things we need to be able to work on to obviously complement what that strength looks like.
Sam Walsh's return from injury seems to have been pushed back by about a week. What's he progressing with? Is he okay?
He's okay. He's just obviously as we progressed, his running last week, he didn't go as fast as what we wanted. So that's why the step back was needed. So I think he's expected to re-engage back with that running later in the week, and then he'll go from there. So like everything, these things, while they have a timeline that's more milestone based, and as we achieve those milestones, you can sort of step up to the next phase. So obviously we're hoping that steps through pretty quickly from here, but he wasn't able to get the next stage the last couple of days.
How do you get the confidence back with the group?
All action, and all the little things that we need to be able to get. And it's not about necessarily how I'm performing; it's how we are performing, and continue to celebrate those little things that ignite the energy and make it contagious. It's also pretty easy when you walk into a stadium that energizes you. And, as I talked about support before, and we've had an enormous amount of support, and the Carlton faithful will continue to turn up. And I'm sure that stadium will be as loud as ever. And we're playing against a pretty good opposition, and we're determined to make sure that we get out there and do our best.
I realise we haven't asked about Brisbane, the actual game. How do you get past them? Or where do you find a weakness in the side?
Well, they've been pretty good.
Can I just say this is? I'm assuming you heard that question. Is like, how do you beat Brisbane? This is one of the first times in maybe all season in the pre-match presser that someone has asked him a question about how do you beat the team that you're about to play. Just an interesting observation.
But I mean, the big thing is for them is obviously they're strong in a lot of areas. They've got so as we said, like for us at the moment, it's just like let's keep it pretty simple, and we'll start from there. There's obviously some threats we need to take off them, but the reality is that some of them are going to have an impact. So you stop one, and another one will pop up. So it's going to take a pretty collective effort to be able to get it done.
What's the impact on Tom De Konin's form? Do you think, Michael, the decision he's got ahead of him, or the way it's playing? What do you think?
I think we just keep it as a black and white conversation for now. So we need to for him to play a role forward of the ball at the moment. Pito's been in some great form. Having another tall player down there beside Charlie's is really important for us. How we structure up the field is going to be important. That presence down the line will be important. Maintaining the intensity around the ball for 120 minutes is has to be a feature of our game this week. So so Tom, like some of us, is working through some things, and obviously we need to be a little bit better to get the result we're after.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Michael.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. A lot in that. That's the longest. It might be the longest presser we've watched all season. You know what? I might invite anyone that wants to come in and share what they thought about that, or what they think about anything. Or you can just write it here. What did you think about the presser? Wow, there's a lot going on there. Interesting. Miko, there's going to be tougher moments than this. Example, being in top 4 and losing another prelim, getting to the grand final and losing. Only one team wins. Bouncing back the next year is what matters. Fair? Hope the players feel a little bit of guilt about what Voss has copped. Yeah. Listen to this question. He doesn't budge. Which one's that one, Paul? Hi, you haven't heard anything here besides the same dribble and demanding supporters to come to the game to make noise. Oh, yeah. I don't know how many people are going to be there tomorrow. Paul, which question? Which one? Which question are you talking about? What up, Pom Dog? Wouldn't expect any coach to give us their detailed plan before the game, to be fair. Yeah. Playing for 120 minutes being the goal since 2023. True. Oh, the TDK question? Okay. I thought Voss's speech was what's wrong with this club. Great speech. Yeah, I mean, he spoke pretty candidly and honestly about that. But you just see the line of questioning. I mean, that reporter who is actually Ashley Nelson from Channel 10. Disappointing. It's unprofessional. Snap, the press will always sound good, but would like to see some more effort. That's fair. Pommy is shocked they didn't ask more questions about the dog. Is it a spade? How long till you toilet trained it? Dog bed or just a pillow? Yeah, all right. Andy.
Hey, Tez.
Mate, back for more. You ready?
Not really, but it's going to happen anyway. So, you know, I actually liked his presser this week because he put people in their place, and I was like, I felt he was a little bit more honest than he's been in weeks. He hasn't just, there's still drivel, but really, what else can he say? But when he put that reporter in their place, I was like, good on you. Like, command respect, mate.
Do you think I mean, this is just a guess, but do you think he's confident that he will be there next year? Do you think that's playing on his mind? Like, do you think he's still got that competitive edge to coach, or do you think he knows it might not be him?
I think regardless of if he's there or he's not, he's a warrior and he's a competitor. So
True.
I think it's at the point of the season now where there's no chance in playing finals. So he's probably more so, mate, ask me about what's going to happen in the game rather about my future, because I'm sick of hearing it. I think it's more so a case of that. Yeah, like, he sort of made a bit of a joke at the start, like, oh, I was 50 during the week. Does anyone want to ask about that? Because you don't ask anything about footy, so about what we're going to do on when we play on game day. So I think he tried to make it a bit lighthearted. And then, before they just kept going on and on and on, he shut it down. And I love how they didn't dare ask him one more question, because this year they've gone one or two more, and he's like, I'm pretty sure I've answered you. How else do you want me to answer the question? So he's like, yeah, don't you dare ask me another question. So good on him,
Yeah. Well, I just looked at it. It was 7.5 minutes on the one topic. Like, I get it. It's like the topic of conversation for the week. I think what happens with these things, and we saw so many mics there, each reporter from each station or network asks the question, so they can use the grab for their own station or channel, whatever it is, and that's why I think we get repeated questions.
Yeah, it's certainly a part of it. You're right, because then it's like copyright for Channel 9 asked it. So yeah, you probably get a fair bit of that. So anyway, look, he's what else can he really do at this point in these presses? Like, he has to do them. They need access from the coaches, and he has to front them. But like I keep saying, week in, week out, you want them to stop asking you hard to answer questions, win a game, and it's going to take all of them to do that. So yeah.
I mean, I don't think you get a harder task than Collingwood into Brisbane, especially when you're going shit as well, and it's all like the form's just falling apart and everything's just falling apart. I don't know.
I think this week's actually going to be worse from a performance standard in terms of them doing more damage to us on the field, and then obviously in turn it'll be off it. I think the way that they play, I think that they'll put us to the sword a hell of a lot quicker, and they'll put more scoreboard impact. So yeah, I'm not really looking forward to the game. I'm probably looking forward more so to see what selection calls he makes. I think, clearly not many are performing. And, I think what I saw from TDK last week was enough for me to say, you know what, O'Keefe's ready. Pito's at least playing like he wants to be there. So have a week out, mate, you know. And a lot of people disagree with me, you know, why would you drop him now? But I'm like, he literally stopped moving and let Cameron get a couple of meters and mark the ball again and again and again, and he just looks like he's got nothing left to give. So it's like, you know what, brother? Thanks. You've been a good servant. Go play in the VFL.
So with Tom, 93 games. 93 games. Would you play him to get 100, even if he's going bit of father son? He's one of 10 kids. He's one of 10 kids. What if he decides he wants to have 8 or 9 kids himself? Do we just try and get him to 100 before he leaves, and then just like look at it as a long-term investment?
That's funny. Yeah, why not? You know, why not? Like if
We're
he
fucked
leaves,
anyway, mate.
yeah. Look, one thing I wanted to raise today, obviously with all the signings, Terry, did you notice that every one of our signings were all defenders? I thought that was interesting.
A good point. Well, I think the defenders are the only ones that have really earned their keep.
Shown something this year, yeah. It's going to be funny if they sign, because Haynes 2 years or 1? Because it's going to be funny with him and Silvani on what they're doing. Like, obviously, I think they're in starting talks with Silvani, but I don't know if Haynes only got a 1-year deal, would you re-sign him? Because he's played well this year. Like,
I would absolutely sign him. Just a standout. Does anybody know? 1-year deal? Brody Johnson says 1 year. Was it a 1-year deal?
I've got a feeling it was 2, but I could be wrong.
Okay. I think that people are saying here that it was a 1-year deal. If that's the case, I mean, I would keep him for another like 1 year, I think.
The other thing, so like from last week, just some of the guys that were in there, like, you know, and I know everyone's saying, oh, they're apparently going to drop Acres, and it's like, I just think, like one of my criticisms of Voss is selection integrity, and we've had so many players this year that don't just play one bad game or do one bad team thing. They do multiple, and then they back it up week after week. Now, in better teams, you get dropped for shit like that, you know, especially the senior core players. But the senior core players don't get dropped because they don't play that bad. They play generally consistent football. So we don't hold standards in my eyes. We haven't for a long time. And then that sets a foundation or a standard for the youth. And then the youth look at that and they go, well, if the high-paid, high-profile players aren't playing consistent and good team ball, well, then that's my plateau, so to speak. So if there's any type of changes next year, whether we keep Voss or get rid of him, whoever comes in needs to start putting standards on everybody. And that's the big thing for me that I hate as a supporter watching. Like, you can lose a game, you can lose 2, 3, 4, 10, whatever, but show that you're doing something and making impact on it, you know. And I keep bringing up like the training standards, like how you train is how you play. And you mentioned it last week with when you went, you're like, they're missing kicks, they're missing hand passes, there's nothing being done about it. And then what do you see on the football field? You see it like happen in game day. And it's like, well, if it's being accepted at training, it's being accepted on game day. And then it's like, if you play shit, if you play shit for 5 weeks, that's accepted. So we'll just let you keep playing.
When I look back now, I mean, so I can remember pretty much week to week from like the days of Mark Murphy being drafted. And I think this selection integrity issue has been kind of there since back then. Like, when's the last? All right, how about this? For those who have watched the game longer than I, when was the last time that you remember very clearly the selection integrity conversation not being an issue? Because for me, it's always kind of been there. You kind of build your trust up within the coaching ranks, and then you just you sort of get protected. It's always been there. Like, when's the last time there was that proper selection integrity? I reckon Andy's getting a call. Andy, are you there? Oh, don't make me do it.
It's something that brave coaches do, but I still think it has impact. But yeah, for us, I can't remember a time where it's been, they dropped a high profile. I mean, a couple of times this year they've dropped players like Doherty and Akers, but that's it. Like, they've never really dropped your marketable players like a Cripps or a Kerno or Mackay maybe. Like, they've dropped Chera. Did they drop Chera last year, or did they drop him this year? I think you dropped him last year.
Did he drop Chera? I don't know if I remember Chera being dropped. I don't remember Charlie ever being dropped or omitted. I don't remember Harry ever being omitted. I remember Harry didn't get a game straight away. I remember early in his, there was a lot of talk about him, like, play him, hurry up and play him, but he had some back issues from memory, and then he debuted against the Lions at the Gabba one time.
It's hard to go back and sort of relive it all, but yeah, like, you're right. Like, I don't know. I just look at Goodwin, and I'm not saying copy what everyone else does, right? So, but Goodwin this year, when they're crying out for forwards, drops Fritsch and Van Ruin. If that's not a message to your club, and they went on a little bit of a patch where they won some games. So, is it a short term like a sugar hit that you get? I mean, you can't always drop your best players, so I'm realistic of that. But I don't know. I just think we need to be brave in what we do moving forward, and just some of the effort. Yeah.
Okay. So this week, in your opinion, what would be the big, brave selection integrity statement?
Me would be TDK.
Okay.
It would be TDK going, hey mate, it's clear as day vision of your lack of effort, not wanting to run, your competitiveness against Darcy Cameron in a big high-profile game, and you're going to have this week out. And like Pito, I know Tom De Koning doesn't play as well when Pito plays in the same team, so I get that. But if you're technically going to play for St Kilda and they retain Marshall, doesn't look great for you. So if anything, we're helping you. Play good when Pito plays. So
I think that's fair.
Again, like, people get the shits when you sort of say, oh, you can't drop him. And it's like, I'm not trying to, like, what would I do if I was in this situation, right? It's like, oh, would you drop him if you were coach? It's like, I've managed teams where your highest leaders under you are not performing. And I've held them to account for their role, their seniority, the standards that they should be setting for people. So would I, as coach, maybe do something like that? Probably I would. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not coming from a level where I've got no idea or no experience. I liken my experiences in life to the football field, and it might not be similar, but you see other coaches make moves when things aren't going well, and it gets them out of it. And this year, I think we haven't made enough moves in regards to things of that nature. Like, the VFL is a platform to go and get your confidence up. That's what it can be used for. And I just think we need to use it more for that. And if anything, you go watch the VFL, they're playing for each other and they're winning games. They beat Collingwood last week and they played a hell of a game. If Denver Granger Barras could kick straight, they would have smashed them. So, could be something that we utilize more in the future, I think.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair comment. Well, mate, buckle up. Who knows what's about to happen, and we might see you tomorrow.
You definitely will. Have a good game. Get across there, make a lot of noise, get the fans up and about, and go
Yeah.
Blues.
Go Blues. See you, mate. Interesting. Actually raised a question. So I had this discussion with Ari on the Biased Footy Show, which will premiere tonight at 8 p.m. We were talking about the rest of the year, and I asked the question, like, do you use the next 7 weeks as just, if you're going to use it as a platform for next year, given this year is, gone to the wayside and it's over and all of that, what would be, if any, experiment you would make with any player on the ground in any position? So, for example, Ari and I spoke about, would you play Charlie on a wing, like what they did with Richo and Nick Reaver, like things like that. So I'll ask those of you watching, what would you do as an experiment for next year while you have the time today and for the next 7 weeks to try X player in X position where you don't usually get a chance to do it? What would you do? What would you do, and who would it be, and why? Let me know in the chat. I'll bring it up on screen, or if you want to jump in and speak it on camera, you're welcome to. So, Charlie down back. Okay, why? Weirdest to full forward, match winner. Probably experiment time. Try moving the ball with purpose and risk. You never know, might work. Yep. All right. Sard forward. Kennedy on ball 100% of the time. That's very good. Jen, you would drop Charlie. Okay. Charlie midfield wing. Aaron, you'd put Sard in big rotation on the wing / on the ball half forward. Okay. Grant, so ironic. Elijah would have made quite a difference to our results, yet for some reason, unbeknownst to us, he's out. I think it's just the dirty little elephant in the room that we all kind of know doesn't need to be said. Like, it's just broken down for him. It's tough. Nicholas. Cowan in the midfield. I think Pommy and I were talking about Cowan on Monday night on the ratings, and we're talking about let Cowan do what Doc did. Let him play Doc's role. Just free him up. Let him get the handball receives and go from there. Lou, you would experiment of leaving Charlie inside 50 at all times, even on kick-ins from behind. Interesting. Harry Mackay in defense. Hunter, Charlie on the wing. You want to see Charlie at centre bounce when he tried to attend it. So sad we got done by the 666 rule and that bounce never happened. Sard half forward. Wow. Can we ponder how we've gotten to the point where we have a list full of coach killers? Also, if boss does go, who's responsible for another failed coaching appointment? I'm sure that's going to be on the agenda. Time to experiment. Flynn Young back pocket. Poor kid hasn't even been able to play in his actual position. LS, you put McGovern at row Q on level 4. Doesn't matter. Andy, Monday Blues. Cripps purely forward. Pito alternating ruck in TDK spot. Must get ready for life post TDK. So you mean like drop TDK, not play him, and then just play Pito in the ruck and Cripps alternating there. Interesting. Wow, Sard seems to be a popular answer here. Pito on a wing to use his pace. Very good. Cowan into the mid, penetrating kick, big body, good run, tough. That's interesting. Get some run in the midfield. Play Motlop in pocket, like Jamie Elliott. Also get speed on the ball movement. Okay, but with who? Like, as in, yeah. Pommy, isn't the whole problem we trial stuff too much? No other club plays players everywhere on the ground weekly. Cripps full forward. Cripps the dusty roll. 80% forward, 20% mid. Saad doesn't have the tank. He won't be going anywhere near the midfield. I think this is the logic. Pito Solruck. TDK's got no form. I've got to prepare for his leaving. Ben Campo is in? Is he? Is that confirmed? Where's that from? I don't see it anywhere. Let's experiment with playing players in their actual roles. I like it. I like it. Holland's on the midfield. Camporelli twins on the back. I've actually got some highlights to show here. Lucas Camporelli was highlighted earlier in the week on the club's Twitter account. So I want to go through his game and watch it. Just let me get through some of your other suggestions here. Motlop in the ruck. Try the whole VFL team since they're in good form. I feel for the VFL team. They're about to get split up. Some of these guys are going to come up to the AFL team. LS, you're shattered that Lucas isn't playing. Oh, is that confirmed? I had a feeling they were going to play him because they showed his highlights. So I've got up Lucas's highlights here, Ben's highlights here, Binzy's highlights. I have a feeling one of the three for sure will come in, and I thought it would be Lucas, given they highlighted him. Do we watch? You know what? Let's watch his highlights anyway. We'll watch Lucas and then Ben. I don't think we've watched much of Ben. All right, check it. This is Lucas from last week.
Blue's got some numbers around this one. Ben Camporelli coming off an impressive game. He was helped by O'Brien. Will Hayes for the Pies. O'Brien. Lucas Camporelli to put pressure on Watts. Watts cops it up to Binns. Now that's not a great handball from Lewis Young, but Ollie Warburton has got time to clean it up. Lucas Camporelli. Short ball to Dozzy. Here are those uncontested marks, Liv, you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, they're fifth in the competition for short kicks and they're fifth in the competition for uncontested marks. So this would have been...
Wilson now forced to kick. Not sure it was intentional, but they'll take it. Lucas. Will Hayes, quick little give. Ramshaw. Lucas Camporelli. He went inside looking for his brother. Trying to break it up was Corrali. Pulls out. Murphy involved again. Gets it to Harry Marnie. Kick inside 50. Mason Cox comes out, but beating him there was Lucas Camporelli. Back from whence it came.
Just hasn't been to the advantage of the forwards. And they're shallow kicks inside 50 as well.
He was head honcho at the VAFA. Turnover. It's the deck. Here's Will White. Looks inside. By hand. Lucas Camporelli. Can he hit a target? He can.
Power spoke about poise and composure thanks to the Chemist Warehouse replay. And this is what they've been better at. Luke Power spoke about it, but they're just the change.
Wait to Hogg. Can Carlton counterpunch? Lucas Camporelli. Marnie won't get to Warburton. Wilson. Bennett's wins the ground ball, and Lucas Camporelli.
I mean, he was okay. Let's look at Ben. Ben's been the topic of discussion for everyone. Grant, I know, mate. This is where it's at. We're watching VFL highlights, looking for the next great white hope.
A Will Hayes in both teams and two Youngs for the Blues. One of those Camporellis you mentioned, Ben, gets the opening touch. Riley got the tap. Was looking for Dozzy. Blues got some numbers around this one. Ben Camporelli wide open and missed him. Binns. Camporelli. Will Hayes for Carlton intervenes. Ben, who shoves the handball inboard and says to Gray, go and get it. And he missed the ground ball. He doesn't miss. And I'm sure Max Marnie's goal would have got a cheer at the pubs in the main street of Mansfield, or maybe if they're assembled, is what Carlton need to correct. How can he do something about it? Now to Ramshaw. His handball forward, Camper. Warburton having the best of his VFL games today.
In this third term, big forward, main beacon for Bullaboos.
Hitting those sort of targets when you're open. Dozzy. Camporelli, can he hit a target? He's got a man wide open. Max Marnie trying the outside of the right boot as he did to the left of screen to goal in the opening quarter, and Ben Campriali loses the arms in. Luke Nelson with the only goal of the quarter.
Lemmy's gone into the ruck against Cox. This time Campriali gets...
That's going to relieve pressure.
Charlson. Now Ben Campriali didn't give the handball pass, which was probably the right option.
I don't know, man. Maybe we can watch Benzie just to round it all out.
Misses the target. Had Ben Campriali wide open and missed him. Bins. Campri haul it in. Lucas Campriali to put pressure on Watt.
Good reason. Terrific mark from Denver Granger Barras, who puts it on a plate for Bins. Idle. Dozzy shaped, waited for Ramshaw. Bins slides into space. It's right on his range. Presenting into the pocket is White. Campriali on the tackle, but he got it free to Charlson. And again, the Blues turn it over. Bins marks. Backing back. Vickery. What can they produce on transition on this occasion? I'm going to look for that short 45. He gets it in the form of Wilson, who needs the same thing in the corridor. It works, sort of. Bins had to change feet.
Comes out, but beating him there was Lucas Campriali. Back from whence it came. Short, can he find one? He can. Good patience. The Blues haven't been able to adapt.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of conversation about Carlton's kicking, even inside 50, but ball use around the ground. And at the moment, they're going at 6.
Enormous talk. So Durden, in that time, managed to create the...
Quick out for the Blues, and there might be more added to it. Gray. One-handed attempt from Kerr. Bins. Overlap now through White.
Eyes.
3-2 to both these teams in the quarter. Hayes laid the shepherd for Bins to escape. Lovely delivery to Lemmy. White went. Now Bins. And eventually they get it where they wanted it.
Save a goal.
Max Marnie trying the outside of the right boot as he did to the left of screen to goal in the opening quarter. And possession 18. A number he hasn't been anywhere near in his time. Jackson Bins calling for calm, and with only 2 goals in the quarter.
Thoughts? I don't know. Shout out to Carlton Blues fans who cuts up those highlights for all of us. Thank you very much. Yeah, we've got about 12 minutes until the teams are announced. What do we think is going to happen? Did you see anything there that stood out to you that says, yep, have to play him? The umps seem to have the 15-meter distances down pat and the raises over the seniors at least. That's a good observation. Hey, Tom, we all know off form Evans will come out for Durds and Chikotta for Young. I think that'll be a proper meltdown. Faz, Cody is going to Richmond. You heard it here first. What makes you say that? You can't leave us hanging like that, mate. What's the story? What makes you say that? Why don't we watch some Cody Walker highlights while we're at it? I mean, we can. Somebody suggested earlier we watch the 2021 compilation. We could actually do that. Should we do that? Or is that just going to depress us even more? Laughing at Carlton is everyone's favourite pastime, Pommy, including mine. I don't know. Difference between our seniors and the VFL is the VFL move the ball faster. Yeah. Do I remember making that video of Sid Draper? Yeah, I made a couple about Sid Draper. Can we pull up Murphy's son's highlights? Oh, Logan, you are on fire tonight. Hey, Kylie. How you doing? Got about 10 minutes until teams are named. Hilarious. Hey, Debbie. Bring in bins. Yep. The Cesc 95 start the preseason already. Yeah. 7 games to go. And then you know what happens after that? And then it's trade period and rumors, and you just know Carlton's going to be at the forefront of all of it. Faz, from the Walker camp, Richmond are selling a far better sell right now. So you're saying that the Walker camp have told you that Richmond are selling a far better sell. Interesting. I did think it was... I actually was a bit curious to see them put photos up of Charlie standing next to Cody Walker today on their Instagram. Hey, Bugs, your biggest takeaway from these highlights is how open the gameplay is. Josh, we're living in a groundhog cycle. We are. I'm actually a bit scared to go back and watch a 2021 compilation just because it's going to be eerily similar. Yeah. Don't watch anything Walker until we sign him. Good point. Hey, Richard, play them. Get some experience. Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to come up against... We're playing one of the better midfields and more seasoned midfields in the comp tomorrow. Neil McCluggage in there. You got Berry in there rolling around. They got some youth in there too, to be fair, but yeah, we're up against it. Peter, aim for this week, get more possessions than the Lions. That was the other thing. I was speaking to a friend today. The Lions apparently had 35 tackles last week, and that'll just be a focus for Chris Fagan this week. So the Lions will just come out roaring. Oh, they'll be so switched on tomorrow. It's usually where we see our best work at Carlton as well. Yeah. Richard, you want a statement? Drop Kerno, bring in Lemmy. See, I always thought you want Kerno in the team with Lemmy. But I guess you could just have McGovern with Lemmy and have McGovern protect Lemmy. I feel like if Kerno's in there, no matter what kind of form he's in, the opposition's always going to put their best defender on him. And that might protect him. And also it might help if Kerno's playing up the ground, wheeling around and kicking to Lemmy instead of kicking to Jesse Motlop at full forward. Yeah. Cody Walker and Harry Dean, their skill set needs a fast, short ball movement system. They'd be nowhere near the level if they played for us now. Yeah. Polls, the Discord server. Let me... maybe it's an off-season thing. I don't have the bandwidth for it. But I offered for people to, lead the Discord. I only got you, and that's it. No one else reached out about it. Quickly pull up the 2021 compilation, please. Maybe. Faz, very timely post of him at Carlton training. They know that he's slipping away. The pessimist in me picked up on it as well. I didn't realize what you were talking about. I just thought it was, just a little glimpse into the future, get the fans on board. Oh, look, Cody Walker's coming. That wasn't lost on me at all. But I didn't realize there was a possibility that he might not even come to Carlton. He'll come to Carlton. Although, there's no more confidence. There's no more confidence about these things. Walker and Dean are the new Wiedering and Cripps, who were the new Murphy and Simpson. Amen. It's someone wrote the comment recently. New faces, same problems. It's the same thing. Hey, Josh, probably spoken about it, but thoughts on the Acres dropping? Yeah, we did speak about it. A bit different. Competing teams must put in better offers. Father and son clubs are almost always the first choice. Fair. Vincent, hello. The Charlie and Lemmy show. Got to stop putting the pressure on all these kids. We have a new crop every few years that we label the saviors. Unless everything around them changes, then we are going to get the same results. Yeah. Are we feeling another 5-hour Teams video tonight? Nah. Absolutely not. What I am going to do, though, teams are going to come out in 5 minutes. And then... Whoops. And then I'm going to give away a little random prize. I'm going to give away this original Cuda bobblehead in its packet, unopened, to somebody. I'm going to send it. This must be from, well, he's got the main logo on his Guernsey, so it must be early 2000s. Yeah. The bobblehead. I'm giving away a bobblehead. I'm absolutely doing it. So I'm going to do that after the teams are announced. Craig, I did see you just signed up for a membership. Thank you very much. I will add you to the list after the teams are announced, and then I'll be spinning that thing, spinning your names in there, and give away a bobblehead. The club is still confident they'll get Cody, according to LS. Think of Nick Blakey rejecting North for Sydney. Similar scenario. Okay. So Faz, you're very confident that he'll pick Richmond, or you just think it's not as clear-cut Carlton as what we all think it will be? Not the bobblehead. Amen. I've got too many bobbleheads in here. I've got to get rid of them. Let somebody else deal with them. How long has the club been doing the bobbleheads? Well, since... This is a genuine hand-painted one. I'm going to say this is 2001. Yeah. I don't know, were there bobbleheads in the 90s? Is this a Carlton thing? How do I win a Cuda? Yeah. To be fair, his dad has a pretty good idea of what Cody would be walking into at Carlton. Perhaps wants to spare him from the same old cycle. Debbie, Lisa Pry. Oh, okay. CFC ahead. Cal, the bobblehead maker should make one of you. Yeah. Channel 7 just confirmed the person suspected of sending the death threat to Vossi was not an MCC or Carlton member. So this could have just been a Collingwood supporter just for the bants. Speaking of, there was a video that went out online after the Collingwood game. Like a video of someone screaming out like, Kerno, you're shit or whatever. And then I can't remember who it was. Somebody sent me a photo from another angle of the guy doing it, and it was a Collingwood supporter. So and I knew that because he had a Collingwood scarf on. So just interesting times. Got to be very careful. Media can be a weapon. It really can. Ricky, welcome to membership, mate. You are entered. Welcome. We'll have teams up any minute now. Damien, you're usually on the ball with this stuff. Aiden, Cody Walker's going to Carlton. Who's saying he's going to Richmond? Bullshit. These people do a good job and pissing the fans off. I know, but it's an inside word. The conversations you've had with the Walker camp, Faz, make you feel like it's Richmond. Andrew's not getting involved at all. All Cody's mates at Richmond. They've trained him since day one, selling the future. Yeah. I mean, I guess both clubs would be selling the future, although you just know Carlton would probably selling the past and the 16 flags. So I get what you're saying. Debbie, you had a Sticks bobblehead in the early 2000s. All right. think the funniest thing was a St Kilda song sung at TDK. I think that's elite banter, to be honest. Like, fair play. Carlton are selling the history. Richmond are selling the future. Kind of does make sense. Us Carlton fans are in denial to admit he's probably don't want to. What? We're in denial to admit he's probably don't. Yep. All right. Team should be out any minute. Like you said, Ali Walker will definitely be a blue. I can't read. Okay, I can't read. It's my fault. You can't write. You can write. I can't read. When's the wheel? The wheel's going to happen in about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. We're going to spin it. I'm going to give away a bobblehead. Might do a little spinneroony every team show until I clear out this entire room. Shit everywhere. Yeah. It's 2025. Everyone's getting riled up by something 2 years away. Anything to distract from the real issues. Yeah. Yeah. LA Paul, pre-match session tomorrow. Yeah, game day. We'll do 12 p.m. Have a little chat. About an hour or so. Don't know what we're going to chat about, but, you know, it's game day. Yeah, who's Ali Walker? That's a good question. All the cups when you walk in the front door. Goals and future at a stand with no cup, so the players walk in. And I think I want to put a cup there. Yeah, we brought this up a few years ago. I think Pommy brought it up a few years ago on a show we did. I like the idea. All right, Channel 7, get ready. Teams will be out. They should be out already. Are they not reporting on it yet? Richard, you don't want Vossi sacked. You need more experienced assistants around him. Hunter, yeah, I guess none of us can read. Yeah, fair. Ali is Cody's brother. The only thing that matters to you, Bugs Bell, is getting your hands on bobblehead Cooter. Just focusing on the real issues. Maybe I am the problem, giving out bobbleheads. All right. Any news on changes? Oh my God. Somebody predicted it earlier. Teams are in. Chincotta and Durden are in. Akers and Francis Evans are out. They're not on the AFL app yet. Yeah, no. So these are from Channel 7. Luckily, people are watching. I will get the teams up on screen shortly. Yeah, someone did say those exact changes before, and I think they were guessing as well. Damien, thank you very much for sending that through. So these are the official changes. We'll have them up on screen when they come out. Chincotta and Durden are in. Akers and Evans are out. It was you, Tom, wasn't it? It was. It was you. Yeah. Yeah. The axe has been swung. That's a statement. Oh boy. Nothing like another selection night meltdown, eh? Oh well. Teams are going to be up on screen in a minute. Pressure players, weak as piss not to drop TDK. That's not a statement. Bexham, you wish Campo or Lemmy were in. Hold on 2 minutes, man. Yeah. The club will put them up on their site shortly. We've got like a minute. People who say that is a statement is capping. Lebolski, tired of Akers playing like he has clown car music playing all the time. There. Hey, Stephen. A year ago, seeing Akers out would be devastating. Now it's a relief. How quickly things change. True. All right. Here are the teams. Chincotta in. Durden in. Akers out. Evans out. Oscar McInerney returns for the Lions as Sam Day makes way. So Chincotta named in the back pocket with Jacob Wiedering and Ollie Hollins. Cowan, Haynes, and Doherty halfback line. Matt Carroll, Cripps, and Zach Williams named on the centre line. Mitch McGovern, Charlie Curnow, and Lockie Fogarty named at half forward. Jesse Motlop, Ashton Moyer, Orazio Fantasia, full forward line. DeConing, Chera, and Hewitt back to that usual three there on the followers. And then the interchange bench. You've got Pitto, Flynn Young, Cooper Lord, Harry O'Farrell, and Corey Durden. All right. Thoughts? Wordy? You like that Chincotta is named in the back line? Play him on one of those dangerous smalls for Brisbane. Well, yeah, no Sard, and he usually takes Charlie Cameron. So maybe that's going to be the job for Chincotta. Is Durden playing for his future? Well, I'm pretty sure Durden's contracted till the end of next year. I think Durden might be the sub here. Surely they wouldn't make Flynn Young the sub 3 games in a row. Chincotta brought in for Dane Zorko. Oh, true. Yeah. Okay. Dane Zorko. You already know what's going to happen. Chincotta's only into tag. Dione, glad they've left in Flynn, Harry O'Farrell, and Moya. Yeah, true. Great to see Vossi swinging the axe and dropping Evans. Yeah, Aiden, I thought the same thing, mate. Only Carlton used to pray for times like these. Yeah. Adrian, to be fair, why bring Ben and Lemmy in to get smashed and lose confidence in a debut? Yeah, I mean, there's 7 more games to go. Just pick your spot with them. We're tagging a 40-year-old. We're tagging a 40-year-old. Is Zorko 40? How old is Zorko? He's 36. Damn. Why do our 30-year-olds need to retire early 30s and everyone else's 30-year-olds can play until 35 plus? What's that about? They kept in the kids. O'Farrell, Flynn, Moya. Yeah. If you're going to tag anyone, it would be Zorko, but you'd like to just let him play. All right. Let me just gather. I need to gather your names. I'm giving away the bobblehead. It's time. Someone's about to take home a 2001, 2002 hand-painted Anthony Koutafidis bobblehead. I think, Gags, are you in the chat? This is the one that you donated, mate. Thank you very much. You know, the stitch, yeah. 1 minute. Let me just get all these names here. What I'll do is, if I've got the number on file, I'll call the number. And if they want it, they can have the bobblehead. And if they don't want it, I can pass on the bobblehead to somebody else. Okay. It's time to spin on that thing, mate. Let's go. Let's do it. Danielle, hello. Trying to get the fans to turn on each other, but I think we've been pretty calm and united considering the circus happening on the outside. Yeah. There's some moments. There's some moments. Let's spin the not a wheel. Yeah, but you know what I mean by spinning the wheel, right? Like you spin the names. All right. I'm giving away a bobblehead live on stream. This is where it's at. This is exactly where we're at. Just need to add spit sound effect to the wheel. I know what I'll do. I know exactly what I'll do. All right. Let me just make sure I've got everyone in here. Craig, I don't think I've got you in here. Craig is our newest member. All right, it's time. Good luck, everyone. Who knows where this goes? Denise, congratulations. Well, first of all, we need to know if she's going to confirm. That's what we need to know. So, it's like half a win, and now we need to know if Denise is interested in a bobblehead.
Hello.
Hello, is this Denise?
Yeah.
Hi, Denise. It's Terry from Blue Abroad. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I was watching you earlier.
Oh, were you?
Hmm.
Are you watching right now?
No, the kids have turned the telly over.
No, that's okay. Well, so you won. You've won a prize.
Oh, you're kidding. I heard you were doing one tonight.
Yeah. So,
for goodness sake.
Well, I don't know if this is going to be of interest to you, but I've got an Anthony Koutafides hand-painted figurine bobblehead.
Oh, how gorgeous.
So,
Always, I remember Cooter well.
what do you remember about Kuta?
Well, I remember the games, of course. I'm older than him, much. But,
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah.
Amazing.
And he's still very much a fan, which is good for the club.
How are you?
I know. I watched the presser earlier when you were going through. I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Sad times. My son's going down for the game tomorrow night. He won't stop. So,
What's your take on how the state of affairs?
Oh, I just feel so sad. I feel sad for Vossi. I really do, because I think he's had an amazing career as a footballer, and I just feel sad for him with what's going on. But I also think, gee, some of them have checked out. And I think Cripper's not well. I don't believe he's been well the last few weeks. And, I don't think Weeders is where he should be. Anyway, I just think it's sad and I think we need to regroup.
Yep.
And I'm sure there'll be lots of changes coming, which, I'm a bit of an old sentimentalist though. And I'll just follow no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's part of the story, isn't it? Just got to keep ticking along.
Yeah. All
Amazing.
good.
Well, thanks for being a member. Really appreciate it.
Oh, not at all, Terry. Fancy hearing from you again.
We'll be in touch, and your bobblehead will be in the mail tomorrow.
Lovely. Fantastic. Thanks, Terry. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. See you, Denise.
Love it. Okay.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Easy done. Okay. That's one less bobblehead in this room. Jody, what does one do to get entry into giveaways? Just become a member. That's it. Members of Blue Abroad get the personalized keyring, entry to every giveaway. At any random point, there is a giveaway. There'll be early access to certain videos in the future. And there's also discount codes to use at the BA shop when we do our special sales. So, but mostly it's just to support the channel. That's what it's for. So, yeah, but I think the giveaways are a nice touch. I have a lot of random items in here, whether it's Guernseys, signed, match worn, that over the every month we'll do one main giveaway, but then tickets come up, random items come into the studio that people donate for the giveaways, and yeah, so there you go. Stephen, mate, you got no idea. Last week I couldn't even give away Collingwood tickets. Yeah. All right. Let's get the teams up one more time. Ooh. Different thumbnail this time around. After slotting the game-winning goal in the VFL last week, Durner returns to the forward line while Chincotta will be a versatile inclusion for the Blues. Yep. Thursday night will be Junior Baggers round with kids entering for free. Free footy tickets. They're giving free footy tickets. There's your team. There it is right there. Have we done our little predictions on the sub? Who do you think the sub will be? I think this has Durden sub written all over it. You? Denise is what we all want and need. Yeah, Denise did give me very wholesome energy in that call. Yeah. You get more from a BA member than one at Carlton. I'm giving more effort. Wow. Nah, no caller ID, not happening. Do you know, after the game on Friday, I had a phone call, no caller ID, random person. I answered, don't know why. And it was just someone playing the Collingwood theme song. I was like laughing. I'm like, okay, cool. Then they hung up and they called again, no caller ID. Picked up again, just why not? Play the Collingwood theme song again. Just torturous, man. Ladder predictor? Nah. Yeah. Sonny, doing what we can to get the people to the game. They're shitting that we were. Yeah, I don't think there'll be more than 32, I would guess, like max. Third sub. Was it Jake calling from his car? The ladder predictor's been our downfall. Oh, you know what? Kill a guy for having a little bit of hope and a dream. Kill a guy for dreaming. That's all we've got this year. Just dreams. Benny, I'll be there with bells on, mate. Promise. Promise you. Peter, you thought 32,000 at the game. Tim, you want to boycott? Mate, go for it. Everyone's within their rights to do what they want tomorrow. Do a ladder predictor where we lose every game closer to reality. Yeah. All right, guys. That is the team show. Great to have you here. Thanks to Denise for being a member and winning. Congratulations for winning the bobblehead. If any of you would like to become members of the channel, you can do it by clicking the link pinned to the live chat, or the membership link is in the description. You can go to the website, check out what you get, and get around it. I will see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. We'll do a little lunchtime catch up, game day. Game day streams at this point in time generally are the most positive because it's the only time we have, the last time that we have before the actual game happens and the game just ruins us. So it is what it is. Oh yeah, and if you're into State of Origin tonight, Pommy's doing a watch along. So get onto Pommy's channel. I was told that there were 5,000 people watching last time, including people from all around the world. So that'd be pretty cool. That happens again. And yeah, Fon, now more than ever, our club need us. We're traveling down the Hume Highway from Wodonga to go to the game. Can't wait to cheer our boys on. Go Baggers. Good on you, mate. I love it. I love it. Benny, get a beer before the game. Be flying solo. Yeah, tune in. Get in touch with Benny. I don't know what time I'm getting there tomorrow, to be honest. Positive game day stream. No, what I'm saying is game day streams are the only last chance we get of positivity before it gets negative, because the games just kill everyone. Yeah. Nah, Tim, don't be sorry for being negative, mate. You can be negative. It's fine. Anyway, have a good one, guys. See you tomorrow. Go Blues. Come on.